Live. Great. Great. Hi. So, today I decided to go for just a classic glass of red. Oh, lovely. Settle the old nerves. I'm hoping that this week I'm less nervous than I was last week, because at least I'm talking to somebody else. Not entirely sure how to add her. Can someone tell me how to do that? Let's see. Is she here? New. Okay. Hello everyone. Oh, thanks Meg. I saw your post earlier and you looked gorgeous too. Nice bit of curly hair. Speaking of curly hair, imbue, not sure. Genuinely, the curling oil, whatever it is, I'll do something about it later, but whoa. This is like, I haven't washed my hair for, God, too long. Okay, where is she? Oh, she's here, okay. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm going to do a little intro because I feel like I need to, just talk about how amazing this woman is. She is, she's an amazing actor. She has been on our screens for many, many, many years. She was a child star, so I can't wait to talk to her about what that was like. She's synonymous with one of the most famous and influential and important young fiction characters basically ever. She is a dancer, a singer, she's a producer, she is a mum, and she runs her own drama school for kids. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest this week for Michelle from Skins series episode 2. Is she here? How does this work? Waiting. Ooh.
Hi!
Oh my god!
Oh, this is so weird. I love technology. Hello!
Oh my god, I'm so excited. We made it work.
Yeah, I know. Well done us.
Oh my god, groovy chick on the t-shirt.
Yes. Well, you see, I thought that because both of our characters are kind of like, I always get, oh my god, you're so nostalgic, and we remind people of when they were young. And this right here, this is my childhood. So I thought, what an appropriate t-shirt to wear.
Yeah. What was it called? Purple.
I think the make was called like Bang on the Door or something.
That's it.
This is groovy.
That is it.
Right here. Groovy.
Bang on the door.
Yeah, and I used to have
God.
her like on stickers and stuff and put it on my homework diary. So loving this t-shirt.
Also, my friend Glenn, Curly Girls. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm going to need some tips because I just heard you talk about curling cream and immediately my ears were like, oh hey curling cream. Always up for suggestions because it's a nightmare.
I feel like part of my identity as Michelle from Skins was the curly hair, so I felt like if I straightened it, no one would know it was me.
That's exactly what I did, and I regret it so much because I went through like a teenage stage of being like, oh, I just don't want to get recognised anymore. I want to go to the pub with my mates. I just want to sit there and not be hassled. So I straightened the life out of my hair and just totally ruined it. So it's taken me like years to try and get my curls back. And
I know,
yeah, finally,
and they're so gorgeous. Why do we do it?
I know, I don't understand, but finally in my 30s, I'm actually embracing my proper hair. So
same. I feel like you do a lot of things when you reach 30. You're like, okay, well, this is just who I am now, so I'm going to just put up with it.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so Dani, are you Tracy Beaker?
No.
Oh!
Yes, no, I totally am. Do you know what? I have actually said that once before, and then I felt so bad and so guilty that I just told someone no, but I never did it ever again.
I did that too. I told everyone last week that I did that too, and the girl still didn't believe me. She's like, yeah, you are. It is you, I can tell.
But the thing is, sometimes when people go, are you Tracy Beaker? And you're like, yes, yeah, I am. They go, no, you're not. I am. It is me. But why did you ask then if you still don't believe it? So yeah, I did say no once, and then I just felt absolutely horrendous. So never.
What do you say? What do people say after? Because that's the thing I find so interesting is that often you get the like, yes, it's me, and then
total awkward silence for a really, really, really long time. Then I'll be like. Great. So but I think it's totally different now to what it was like back then, because obviously now everyone has a camera on their phone, so like no one's
Yes.
safe. So
Yeah.
mainly people won't come up to me and they'll just take sneaky photos, and I'd
Oh,
much
I hate
rather
that.
someone just come up, because you're gonna get a crap photo of me like eating a
Yeah.
burger, like food all around my face,
And
and
it's
people
always when you're like, you're in the shop doing the shop with the trolley, and you're like,
yeah,
what do I? It's always the worst time ever.
exactly. So yeah, if you ever see me out and about, anyone, just come up, say hi, we'll have a chat, nice photo. You can be in it too as well. It's so
Yeah.
much better.
Genius.
Yeah,
Genius. Okay, so good. So we've covered that. You are Tracy Beaker.
I am.
Some of my international followers and some of yours maybe don't know who Tracy Beaker is. If you could just like give us a little rundown of who
Yeah.
Tracy Beaker was, and particularly who she was for you.
Oh, okay. So brief summary. A really amazing author, Jacqueline Wilson, who I'm sure we all know from our childhood.
She's a dame, don't forget. She's
Oh, I'm
Dame
so
Jacqueline
sorry.
Wilson.
Oh my gosh, she will never forgive me. Dame
No.
Jacqueline Wilson. Apologies. I'll apologise when I see her. Yeah, so she wrote these amazing books and like helped us all through our childhood, because she was just the best writer ever. And she did a book called Tracy Beaker, and it is about a young girl, a looked after child who is in the care system, and kind of just what she gets up to, really, kind of her highs and lows. Tracy's got quite a lot of behavioural problems, which probably links back to her past and her parents, which we haven't really ever gone into too much detail about, really. But yeah, so basically, long story short, BBC decided to make a series of it, and they cast me as Tracy Beaker, and that was when I was 12, and now I'm 31, and I'm still talking about it. So yeah, it did really, really well, and I'm still so shocked that it did so amazing, because when we first started all those years ago, it was 15-minute episodes, kind of on at like 3:30, and I just thought, well, no one's going to watch that, they're all going to be getting back from school, and they were so short that I was just like, but it really took off. And
also, like that tea time when you come back from school is a really, like, you've just had a long day, you just, back then you thought that school was really hard and that was like the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
and you'd come home and there'd be this like, there'd be some escapism on CBBC, and it'd be your face at the dumping ground.
me right now.
Yeah, it was great. And actually, like, that's why I'm so excited to have you as my first guest, because for me, as you say, like, I'm associated with nostalgia in the same way that you are. Obviously, we were kind of at people's like different ends, but still like formative years, 12 to 13, and that early sort of tween age, and then the other end for me, and experiencing life and trying to find out who they were. Weirdly, we both have that kind of like special place for a lot of people. So I think, like, and certainly for me, you are. I'm like fangirling so hard.
Stop it.
Cool. So I think the thing that you said about Jacqueline Wilson, obviously she is a dame. For me, I was creating a new person. Like, Michelle Richardson was a new character.
Right.
So for you, Tracy Beaker was already, a literary icon. There was already like illustrations of her in the books. Nick Sharratt did the illustrations for Tracy Beaker. So she already had, like, it's not like any other fictional character where you're imagining what she looks like. There was a very specific look that people were imagining. Like, was that difficult? Did you feel as a young person, maybe not, but like, did you feel that you had a weight to kind of portray that character in the right way, or did you just not?
Yeah. It's kind of a funny one, because I think at 12 you feel like you're invincible, so you're just not bothered by anything, and thank goodness it happened at that time, to be honest. I was a huge fan of Dame Jacqueline Wilson and all her books, but I hadn't actually read Tracy Beaker, and I still haven't to this day. And I actually kind of think that it helped, because I'd made my own Tracy. Obviously it helped that I looked like the cartoon, with the curly hair already, and I had this big gob and I could shout really loudly, so that was kind of all going for me anyway.
Tick and a tick.
Yeah, exactly, that's all they were looking for, just someone with curly hair that could shout loud. So luckily for me, because I hadn't really read it, I didn't really have I didn't really know who Tracy was, so I just completely took the words off that script and kind of did what I thought was right with her. And then obviously as the series went on, the character grew with me anyway, so that kind of definitely helped. But I mean, Jacqueline Wilson was huge. She helped me through so many things when I was younger. That she wasn't scared to go through any issues. And I think that's what I loved so much about the series, was learning about children in care, because I didn't have a clue when I was younger. I didn't go to school with anyone who was looked after, as far as I was aware. It was a really taboo subject back then. So I think the best thing that ever happened with Tracy Beaker is now looked after children kind of have a reference point. So if another child didn't understand about looked after children, they could say, well, I'm a little bit like Tracy Beaker, and that's a good kind of starting point. So yeah, super proud of that.
And I also think, you know, you were saying earlier that you didn't, I mean, that you had no idea necessarily her background, you haven't looked into it that much. I think actually avoiding that might have avoided like the tropes or the stereotypes of a child from who has experienced life in the system. And I think actually you probably portrayed a more realistic, more honest character because you didn't have any kind of prior experience of what that must have been like.
Yeah, I kind of hope so, because obviously with being 12 as well, you're so innocent. So I kind of just took the character as it was written, and I could see that she had so much heart. And even though she was a little bit naughty, you know, it always came from like a good place. She didn't mean to hurt anyone. She hated hurting people's feelings, and she got sad a lot, and it was nice to sort of paint all those different emotions with her. So I think it was nice that, you know, being so naive, I didn't think about the looked after side at all. That was just that's just a part of the program. That wasn't really who Tracy was. So yeah, kind of, I suppose it does kind of help, because I think if I did it now, I'd be like really overthinking everything, like Googling and
well, see, that's what comes with, like, that's the joy about playing a character when you're so young, because you don't have that adult brain of like, oh God, what are people going to think? You're so much more, you know, it weirdly, you kind of go full circle, don't you? You think, oh, this is just me, this is who I am. Whereas, you know, when you're in your mid-20s, your late 20s, and then sort of through to whenever, you just think, oh God, are people going to think X, Y, Z? And then you probably end up overthinking it. And actually, I think sometimes that's when you fall down as an actor as well, because certainly for me, I like just going off instinct. So like, I don't like doing too much. And also I've seen that Olivia Colman does that as well. So I feel like I'm validated in doing that process.
Then. Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah,
exactly. If she does it, then it's all good.
I totally agree. I think instincts are the best thing about actors, because that's what kind of sets you apart. If we were all constantly on the internet Googling, and we'd all end up doing the same performance for everything, and it'd be awful. So instinct is a great thing. But to be young again. I love being fearless and not having any of that worry, man. It was great.
I know. You're a mum, talking of being young.
I am. That's why I've got all these grey hairs.
Can't see them, babe.
I've got the bags. Yeah, it's the most, like, obviously I know it's so cliche and everyone always says it, but it honestly is the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's awesome, man. She's so cool. She's completely nuts, and runs rings around me all day, every day. But I wouldn't have it any other way. It's awesome.
How would you feel about her seeing you in a children's TV show?
Do you know what? I think she's seen a couple of episodes of Tracy Beaker, because my sister finds it really funny to put it on whenever she goes around there. And Avery's so confused. I mean, bless her, she's only 4, so she's like, Mummy? 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 I don't know whether she thinks I've been like trapped in the TV or what, but yeah, I suppose I'd rather her watch that than, you know, something inappropriate. So yeah, totally. I mean, I'm just dying to do a voice on Hey Dougie, so that I can get some like extra cool points.
Oh yeah.
Or Peppa Pig, and then you know, just make her love me even more. That would be great.
That would also probably be quite confusing, though. To be fair, if she thinks she's stuck in the TV now.
Yeah, I suppose so. She's like, no, Mummy, get out.
What's going on? And obviously, you have an academy.
I do.
The Dani Harmer Academy. So tell me about how that happened.
Oh gosh, well, I went to theatre school when I was younger, and just hated it.
Great.
Yeah, luckily I got Tracy Beaker at a young age, so I was very rarely there anyway, so that was all good. And so I kind of, when I got older, just wanted to give something back to my community, because where I live, there's just like nothing to do for kids at all. And, you know, performing arts really helped me, kind of not only gave me a hobby, it gave me a career, but so I just really wanted to do something and give something back, and I just wanted to create a nice safe place for kids to come along and just grow in confidence more than anything, to be honest. I'm not trying to make the stars of the future or anything like that. I just want everyone to have fun and enjoy the performing arts, because at the moment there's hardly any around at schools anymore, because it's the first thing to be cut with all this, like they don't have enough money for
Yeah.
it. So so I just really wanted to do that, and I absolutely love it. It's great fun. I had 3 of my students on The Voice on Saturday, which was so cool to see them up
Wow.
there. One of them got through.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I know. Yeah. So for anyone that did watch that, you'll see me just randomly standing in the background. They didn't explain why I was there at all. So I'm just there crying in the wings, like, and everyone's like, did I just see you on The Voice? So yeah, that's the reason why I was there. And yeah, so just super proud. Just love it. I really do.
That must be amazing. And also, you know, often I get like, well, aren't you doing anything anymore? You know, what, like, where have you been? If you're not in Skins, then you're not doing anything.
Exactly.
And, you know, I've done some producing as well. And like, it's just so difficult. You know, quite a lot of the things that I'm most proud of are things that aren't in the public eye or that I'm doing, you know, in my own life. And obviously being a mum, doing your academy and things like that, people don't necessarily see that because it's not newsworthy or, you know, associated with Tracy Beaker in any way. And actually that's really difficult when you think, no, I'm so much more than a show that I did when I was 12.
Yeah, I know. It is hard, but I think people just assume because you're not on TV that you're just not doing anything, just sat at home. I'm like, well, I do a lot of stage stuff, and you know, I am trying to raise a child, which takes up a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always busy. I'm just not necessarily on the CBBC at the moment.
It's interesting that you said that you didn't like being at theatre school.
Yeah, man. It's just
because you'd have thought that would be if you were like, you know, if you liked doing theatre and performing, you'd have thought that would be somewhere you'd like to be.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I loved it because I didn't have to do as much sort of academic work because we did like dancing and singing in the afternoons, which was great. That was all fantastic. But I came from like a really like working class background, and I'm going to school with all these people that have mansions and swimming pools, and I'm like, I do not belong here.
Right.
And like I was never made to feel like I belonged there or anything. And it was just a really odd time in my life. But I got a scholarship, so I was like, well, free, might as well keep going. And don't get me wrong, I did have like some really, really good teachers that I learned a lot from. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. I just didn't fit into that world, I don't think. And
that's so interesting as well, because I feel like that's what you've now tried to create in your own academy. Is that experience you didn't have?
Yeah,
you've
trying
now
to totally do the polar opposite. They were very much like, come to us and we'll make you a star.
Yeah.
And that's just not the real world. We all know how difficult this business is. It's hard. So, you know, I wanted to, that's kind of the first thing I say to my students is like, you know, if you don't want to be an actor, don't do it because it's really hard work. But if you're enjoying singing and dancing, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work and they just need honesty, I think, especially kids.
What was the process? How did you get into the show? Did you audition? Did they come and find you from drama school? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, so the school just put me up for the audition, to be honest with you. It's such a boring story. My teacher didn't actually want to send me up because I was a dancer and I wasn't an actor, which was odd. So luckily I kind of did get the audition because could you imagine I wouldn't be here now talking to you if I didn't. So yeah, and it was just a really straightforward process, to be honest with you. I went in, read the script, they said great, and then I got brought back a week later and I read with someone else, and then I think it was like a week after that I got the part, so it was so quick.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so it was kind of right place, well yeah, boring, but also like is so kind of common is that it's right place, right time. You didn't have to bust a gut to do it. Like, you know, you hear a lot of stories, like I love Mark Ruffalo's story that he didn't make it till he was 35, 36 and he was about to quit, and then he did one audition, got it, and now he's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
You know, quite often like that is the way. And again, for me, a casting director came to my school and just went, do you want to come to an audition? So you know, and then it just kind of happens.
Yeah, and then everything just falls into place from then on. But yeah.
Oh, I really love that happened and that teacher didn't want you to go.
I know. Could you? I couldn't imagine now if
someone's just written, "Go on, Dani. Go on, Dani."
It's like because there was another teacher and they're like, but she literally sounds perfect. Like the description is her. It's just
it is. It is. It's like he saw you and then drew you.
Yeah. So Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't enjoy school as much, because we were all sort of like put into weird boxes that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I wanted to be an actor. I didn't want to be a dancer or a singer. I just happened to be all right at dancing when I was that age, but I really wanted to be an actor. So yeah, thank goodness I went.
And I mean, I'm jumping ahead because of the dancing comment, but
Oh yeah.
Strictly,
Oh yeah.
I mean, amazing.
It was the best experience I've ever had in my whole life.
I
I
bet.
loved every single second of it. I was like a kid wearing all those costumes. Oh my goodness, the
It
dress.
just looks like people are having the greatest time, and
Yeah.
it's every week. You must have felt a lot of people. I mean, obviously I've experienced it too, but when you finish a show,
Mm-hmm.
particularly a theatre show, but any kind of, obviously this is our vocation, this is what we love. So when you're doing it, this is like the greatest time ever,
Yeah.
and it's so rare that you just kind of cling on to it when it's happening.
Yeah.
So you must have had the most horrendous come down at the end of Strictly.
Oh my gosh, I think I cried for like a week when we finished. I was so upset. I was really lucky because my year, we all got on so well. There wasn't a single diva, thank goodness. And yeah, we were just like the best of friends. It's
Oh,
really hard work though, don't get me wrong. Like long hours. We were in that sort of studio rehearsing for like 10 hours every day and like hardly any breaks. But my dance partner was amazing. He was just, everyone just got paired off with exactly the right
it
person.
felt like you and Vincent were the match made in heaven. You were like two pocket rockets.
Yeah,
You were just perfect.
this is the thing. As soon as I walked in, I was like, well, you're mine because you're like 2 foot. Everyone else is towering above me. They're going to get backache. So obviously we're going to get paired together. And luckily we just had the same sense of humour and just hit it off straight away. And yeah, I miss him. I would totally do it again. Although I'm not sure how
You can't. It's my turn next.
Okay, sorry. You do it because it's honestly it's the best thing ever. But it's knackering, but it's joyous, and yeah, I didn't want it to end, to be honest. But we did the tour afterwards, which was amazing because as actors, we're not really going to play stadiums, let's be honest, you know what I mean? No. So walking into Wembley and getting to like perform in Wembley was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I feel like a Spice Girl. This is so cool. And yeah, we just had a whale of a time. We drank far too much, but we also had a wicked time, so it was good fun.
I'm glad you remember it then.
Well, I remember parts.
Some bits are hazy. Okay, I'm gonna do some. I've got to be conscious of the time because last week went so quickly, but I've got some quick fire questions for you.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to go to some questions that people have sent in, which are amazing, and then lots better than the questions that I've come up with. But okay, so you just have to say, it's like the thing in Friends where you say whichever one comes to your head quickest, but actually try and answer it as well. Okay.
All right.
Okay. House or castle?
Oh, house.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Quick step or tango?
Oh, tango.
Dick or Dom?
Oh, Dom. Sorry, Dick.
Dancing or singing?
Dancing.
Ooh. Tony or Sid?
Ooh, Sid.
Interesting. Teaching or performing?
Performing. I don't really teach very well.
Okay. OC or Dawson's Creek?
Oh, that's so hard. OC.
Same. I think we were just that little bit too young for Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, I have watched it, but OC was amazing.
Yeah, it was the absolute everything.
You're right.
Okay, last one. Too hot or too cold?
Oh, too cold. More
Really?
layers. Yeah, you could put more layers on.
Oh,
and get warm. If you're too hot, then like once you're naked, there's no other option apart from peeling your skin off, which you can't do. And I hate being too hot.
Yeah, she makes a good point. Really good point. Quickly, the castle/house question.
Yes.
Why did you say house?
Well, I'm assuming you were referring to Dani's house or Dani's castle.
Indeed.
So well, Dani's house, I had like I loved it, and I had like my best friends with me, and it was cool, and we had such fun, and it was a sketch show, and we were silly, and it was the show that I've always wanted to create, and I absolutely loved every second of it. And we had the same crew for all of the series as well, so
amazing.
Just amazing tight-knit family. And only some of them came to the castle with us, and I always knew that I was only going to be there for a series because I wanted someone to take over from me, so it kind of had very different feelings. Dani's house was kind of like my little baby, and Dani's castle was kind of me saying goodbye to it.
Right, fair enough. Good answer.
Thank you.
Okay, so Random Frankie has asked you, what were some of the biggest lessons you took away from... Am I back? Am I back?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you.
Great. You've gone a bit like out of sync, but I think we're all good. As long as you can hear me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can absolutely hear you, but your mouth is doing not what I can hear, but it's fine. I'm sure we'll meet
power through. It probably means that my husband started watching the football again. So if he has, Jamie, get off the internet, okay? Right, so the question was, Random Frankie said, what are some of the biggest lessons you took away from Tracy Beaker?
Oh, some of the biggest lessons. Probably like how to be a professional actor, I guess, more than anything, because it was one of my first jobs. And I was kind of like a sponge. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to soak it all up. I would probably annoy the hell out of the crew. I feel ever so sorry for them, because one by one, I was like following them around for a whole day, working out what they do as a job, knowing what lights go where, and yeah, just putting my nose into everything, to be honest with you. But yeah, so that was kind of the biggest thing I think I probably took away of it, was how to be a professional.
Yeah, and it's actually the quickest and best lesson you can ever have, is just being thrown into it and people saying go.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Go now.
Yeah, and you don't have enough time to think about it, which I think was important.
Yeah, that for me it's exactly the same. I think I learned more in the first 2 months of being on Skins than I could have ever learned with someone teaching me in a lesson in a room.
Absolutely, yeah. I think definitely learning on the job helps.
Definitely. Okay, Connie Wood said, I'm so excited for this. Me too. My question is, do you still get recognised, but by younger children? Is there a new generation of Tracy Beaker fans out there, or is it primarily the young adults and teens that like are our generation?
Yeah, I kind of get recognised by all sorts, to be honest with you. But yeah, there is quite a lot of young people that have kind of just found it, because it went back on iPlayer. Kind of, I don't know whether it was recently or it's just been on there for a really long time. And I think like parents were showing their kids the episodes, which makes me feel really, really ancient. And yeah, it's still quite popular with uni students, which I find strange as well, because we're going to sound really old now, but they weren't actually born when we first started.
Oh, so, don't.
I know, yeah. So it's going to be 20 years next year.
What?
20 years. I know. And 30 years since the book came out.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
We're old. It happened. I've got grey hair.
Hey! There is nothing wrong with being 31, Dani. I'm telling you now.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong, but I'm certainly not 18 anymore, and that makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah, everything's going so quickly.
We've
got so much to do and so little time.
I know, right? Come on.
20 years. Wow, that's absolutely mad.
Yeah.
But also, do you feel like this is I'm asking another question of my own, but just really quickly, is there something to be said for being synonymous with a children's character that you're like can't possibly be seen in a pub, or oh my god, I've got a child, I must be sexually active? Like, is there something, is there a part of you that feels like quite protective of the people that are or were your audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, my Twitter page is, I always make sure I don't swear, even though I'm 21. And actually, I got some really weird reactions when I said that I was pregnant, because everyone's like, oh, aren't you like 13? And I'm like, no, I'm like 27. It's okay, I'm properly an adult. Okay. But yeah, so that was kind of hard, but obviously with the BBC they're incredibly strict, so I think if we'd got caught doing anything we shouldn't have been doing, yeah, we would have definitely got a right telling off. So but I've always been really conscious. I smoked for a really long time, and I'm not anymore, thank goodness, and I always used to make sure there were no children present anywhere, because I didn't want to influence anyone, because it's a disgusting, gross habit, don't do it. So yeah, I was always really, really conscious, but I think I would have been, even if I hadn't been in a kids program, if I'd just been well known from anything, I think I still would be one of those people that are quite conscious about what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think I'm the same, which is weird
Yeah.
because I'm synonymous with the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's keep going with people's questions. Did you ever find yourself as a young person adopting your character's characteristics?
No, thank goodness.
She was a
I
bit of a
think
gobshite, really, wasn't she?
she was,
Or
yeah,
Tracy.
yeah, she really was. And we're very like polar opposites. So I think it would have been hard to. I would have had to completely have a personality transplant if I just randomly started becoming like Tracy Beaker. I'm way more like laid back. I'm quite bossy, and Tracy was quite bossy, but that's just me anyway.
I suppose maybe the question is kind of because you were so young when you were playing that character.
Yeah.
You know, I guess there might have been some crossover into your personal life, but you know,
Yeah.
like you say, if she was
Yeah,
the opposite to you,
yeah, she was too polar opposite. My mum would have been like, "What the hell are you doing? Like,
who's
stop it!
that?
Snap out of it." So yeah, no, definitely not.
Okay,
Thank goodness.
cool. Tracy Beaker franchise has said, who was the favourite member of cast that you worked with?
Oh, that's really hard. Oh, there was so many, and I loved everyone. I mean, we're like this cool little family. I got to like basically spend the summer with loads of kids my age, and it was great fun. Like way better than just being at home bored. But I've probably got the closest connection with Connor, who plays Mike, because he was kind of like a second dad to me, really, because I was away from home. We were kind of, you know, I saw him like way more than my own dad most of the time.
Yeah.
And then obviously we did Tracy Beaker Returns together as well. And then we had to kind of change our relationship completely because I was an adult and he was really confused as to how to treat me now. And now we're just really, really good friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've probably got the closest bond with him, but everyone I worked with really was brilliant. I can't fault anyone.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
Question from Layla May. Did Tracy's upbringing impact the way you parent?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think a lot of parenting is just your own instincts.
Yeah.
And kind of how I was raised. I
Definitely.
think.
What you've learned from your parents, you mean?
Yeah, what I've learned from my parents, and obviously my mum's still around. She lives around the corner. She's here all the time.
Great.
So yeah,
handy.
Yes. Oh, very. This is why I moved back to where I'm from.
Nice.
To be close to the babysitters. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. So no, it's kind of what you learn, I think, as opposed to what your character learns.
Yeah. Good question. Good answer. Question from Quenisha Lewis. Did you ever hate being Tracy Beaker?
No, I never hated being Tracy Beaker because I love Tracy. She's a wicked character, and I felt so honoured to play her. Even now, like she's wicked. But I think I went through a stage when I was a teenager that didn't hate being Tracy at all, but just kind of wanted to be normal just for a minute. You know, when you're like out with your friends and like everyone's staring at you, that kind of made you feel really self-conscious. I'm just really lucky that social media wasn't around.
Oh my God, preach. I do not know what I would have done.
I have zero idea how I would have like taken all of that, because I got some like weird, not like, it wasn't really, really bad, but I got a bit of trolling when I did Strictly. And that was kind of before social media really, really became a thing. And that was bad enough. So I can't even imagine what it would have been like being a teenager and having to deal with that, because I was on screen and had like braces and this massive hair and like spots everywhere, and just I can't imagine anyone being that nice about that. So yeah, just thank goodness that social media wasn't around. But no, I love Tracy and I never hated being her.
Great. You've actually made me rethink how I think, because I actually, if someone had asked me that question, I think I would have said there were times where I hated it, but actually saying it like that, as in like she was a great character and I just wanted to be normal sometimes, is a much better way of thinking about it, as opposed to me being like, I hated it. It wasn't, I hated it. Because I've never, and also I got that was my start, you know, that I can't ever be mad at it because that was how I got to where I am now. So
exactly. I can't be mad at the character, but I can kind of be like hating the position I'm in as like a public figure, but I didn't really ask to be a public figure. Didn't ask to have all this pressure on me. So yeah, kind of that aspect. But yeah, without Tracy, I wouldn't be where I am now. Has it stopped me from getting some parts? Probably, because my face is the same. I've aged literally nothing. My hair is still the same.
You really haven't. What are you doing?
It's moisturizer, babe. Just a lot of moisturizer. I've grown an extra chin.
Oh, same.
During lockdown, which is
same. I love my lockdown chin. I don't love it at all.
So maybe I'll get different parts now. That's kind of.
I was doing a poster shoot today. I think the photographer Amy's might be watching. She was like, "Don't worry, babes. I'll just airbrush your chin out." Thanks, pal. That's when you've got a good friend.
Yeah, or just like shoot me from really, really high so that I like
Like this. And every time I'm like, "Don't. If you come down here, I'm not going to be your friend."
No.
Okay, I'm so bad at asking people's questions. People have been saying if we don't get to the questions, will you, when I post the video, will you answer them underneath? Because I'm not even.
Sure. I don't know how to do that, but
I'll direct you to the right area.
Thank you. So
okay. You've sort of actually answered one of these. Oh, this is a good one. SVT Melina has said, if you could make a series into a musical, which one would you choose?
Ooh, well, we did a musical episode of Tracy Beaker, which was just horrendous. It's so bad. It's the episode barely gets repeated because it's that awful.
Nice.
So probably not Tracy Beaker, because I think we've realised that doesn't work.
At least you tried, though. You know, you tried.
We tried.
Put it out there.
We really did. I think Dani's house would be interesting because it would be as if you've just dropped some acid and decided to write a musical. And that's kind of what you would get, I think. Nice. So that would be pretty nuts.
I feel like there is a space. There's a space for like a young person's or a children's musical.
Yeah, I mean it could work. I think they.
Oh, I think Frozen might be coming soon. I think Frozen the musical may have just filled that gap.
Well, I don't know. Do you think it will do well?
I don't think so.
I'm not.
I don't think so. No one's heard of it, so.
No, exactly.
Yeah. What is the most cringe thing someone has asked you to do?
Yeah, okay, so a lot of people come up to me and they go, well, bog off. And it's like, oh my gosh, I have never heard that before in my life. No one has ever said that to me. That makes me cringe every time. It makes me want to die a little bit because I don't know how to react, because I've literally heard that every day of my life for like 20 years. So
yeah, I'm the same with nips. I addressed this last week. When people call me nips, I'm exactly the same. I can't help but die a little bit when people say it.
Yeah, so okay, that's the only time I hate being Tracy Beaker. That very moment when someone goes, can I record a video? I know this is a little bit crazy, but can you tell my friend to bog off? And you're like, bog off.
You're so original.
Yeah,
oh my god, so original.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only time that a little part of me dies just a little bit.
And in terms of how it's affected your acting work since, obviously, you know, I think it's quite easy to put yourself in that kind of, well, it's because I'm Tracy Beaker that I haven't had extra acting work, or, you know, for me, it's because I'm Michelle from Skins, so that's why I'm not in a period drama. You know, it's very easy to do that, obviously.
It is, yeah.
But has it affected? Do you think it has affected? Obviously, you've done a lot of theatre, so people may not know about that. But do you think it's had an impact on your acting work and your acting career?
I'm sure it probably has, but I'm not in the room with these people who decide who's going to cast what. I could imagine there's been hundreds, if not thousands, of occasions where they've gone, she's probably a bit too well known as being Tracy Beaker, so we better not.
Yes.
You know, so yes, probably it has kind of affected that, but it also kind of helps in some areas. I've got to do loads of very strange, wonderful opportunities that I never thought I'd be able to do. I played Janet in Rocky Horror, which was like my dream come true. Like, I always wanted to play that character, and I just didn't see how I would ever do that, and I did, and I got that opportunity. I did Shakespeare.
Hello.
Might be doing that again. That was very
proper actor.
That was too hard work for me, Doc. And I had never done Shakespeare before, so it was really, really challenging. No, I am actually really glad I did it, because I felt like a proper thespian.
Absolutely, you were doing your craft, darling.
I really was, and it was an absolute nightmare to learn. But once I got it, I was like so proud of myself.
Amazing.
So yeah, just stuff like that. I think I probably got off the back of Tracy Beaker. Obviously the countless pantomimes. I think I've played every Disney princess there is now, apart from Jasmine.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's probably the only one. But
Good,
yeah,
I'd say. Probably good.
yes, probably good. So yeah, I think it probably has hindered, but it's also helped. So
Good. Good. Nice and on the fence there. Love that.
yes,
Love that.
thank you. Yes, that's me. No opinion
Straight
here.
down the line. Say what you think. Okay, so I think we've got to ask some people, ask some questions that people are asking, because I've ignored them, and I did that last week as well. I was so scared. I just didn't look at what anyone was saying.
Yeah,
so,
to be fair, I actually have only just noticed that people are actually writing things.
Oh yes,
so
there's been a lot of people wanting to ask you some stuff. Mainly people are saying hi and how much they love you. So that's nice.
Hi,
that's really nice. And also somebody said they saw you on The Voice and thought that you were going to be a contestant. So maybe,
no.
Maybe we should clear that up one more time.
Yeah, a little bit too old to be on The Voice, kids.
Yeah. But there you go, see? They probably saw you and thought, well, she's 12, so she's supposed to be there.
She's still 12. No, I was there, yeah, with a couple of my students, just cheering them on in the background.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. See, look, love you, Dani.
Oh,
right, so if we've got 5 minutes, ask us a question, me or Dani. Would you want to do another Tracy Beaker series with the old cast? Would you rehash it?
Yeah, I'm kind of along the lines. I'm like another fan, basically. I kind of want to know what happens next and where she is and what she's done. So yeah, I'd love to bring her back. Kind of, why not? Really, at this point, I am Tracy Beaker, so I might as well just keep going. And then I'll do one where she's in an old people's home, probably, and we'll see what she's like.
Nice,
little old lady, you know,
bossing around all of the 80-year-olds.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly. I think she's just such a great character, and I love the fact that she grows with me. So yeah, I'm kind of like everyone else. I want to know what she did next. And obviously Dame Jacqueline Wilson has written another couple of books, so yeah. Who knows?
The sky is the limit.
It really is.
My friend Rochelle's just mentioned how funny you were on Come Dine With Me. How was that?
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't
absolute like pinnacle right there of television.
I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I did win, so you know, no big deal.
Whoa! Yeah. Excuse me, you just dropped something.
This bed right here, Abs from 5, has actually laid on this bed. So again, I don't like to brag, but
listen, you're sat there in your groovy chick talking about Abs from 5 being on your bed.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, 15-year-old self.
Yeah, that was a great week. Random as having random people in my house. I had like Mark from Made in Chelsea just sort of swanning about my living room, and I was like, wow, how are you in my tiny little house when you live in Chelsea in a mansion? How embarrassing. But yeah, ended up winning it, which is great. So money for the foundation. So all good. Great.
Good on you. Okay, let's just have one more. Can you see these questions?
Kind of a lot of emojis from what I can see. They're very nice ones.
Dani Harmer, you're an icon, is what I can see. So
brilliant. Thank you.
I actually would say that's probably true, though. That is probably true.
I don't know what you. For me, like an icon is like David.
Oh, shut up! Take the compliment.
Okay, all right, I'll take it. Thank you. Gonna get like a.
Would you like to do a horror or thriller? Have you done a horror or thriller?
No, I never have actually. Yeah, why not? I just love acting and I love playing different characters and I like a challenge. So I'll pretty much do anything, to be honest with you. I'm not fussy. As long as I like the script and I like the character and I feel like I can bring something to the table, then everything excites me. So yeah, I'd love to do one. Although I don't really watch horror films because I don't really find them scary. So it kind of takes that away. Yeah.
Wow.
Because maybe I'm a bit weird, but because I'm really aware that it's being filmed, I can kind of think about like when someone's doing like a shot and they're following people. I'm like, well, I know that's a cameraman, so I know there's another person in the room with.
That's what I do. I actually don't manage to put myself there right in the moment, but I do. Right. When I'm trying to talk myself out of being scared of a horror film, I'm then like, it's okay. She's probably wearing thermals. She's probably freezing. Exactly. You know. That's prosthetics. Like it's fake blood. There's someone waiting there ready to squirt some blood at her, and in a blood gun.
They out the tea and coffee table, so you don't catch that glimpse of that. So I kind of try and see it like that. Although I did see that was a bit scary.
Which one? There's two.
Oh, like the original. That kind of freaked me out. I watched the remake, and the old ones are better. I think.
Clowns. It's clowns.
Clowns are weird.
They are. They just are.
There's something not right.
They just are. I think I'm the same. I'm not fussy either. Like if the character's cool and the script's nice and it's it's a good part.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do anything.
Dani, what inspired you to act? Because you must have, even before you went to horrible drama school, you must have wanted to go.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. I loved Annie when I was younger, like the film. I used to sit on my windowsill and like sing the song out the window and pretend I was her and everything. So I think that kind of inspired me. Like every time I saw a kid or someone my own age on the telly or singing or dancing, like Shirley Temple, I just wanted to be them. So that's kind of where it all stems from, I think. But yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, you can't not. I think it's like when it's just who you are, it never goes away. Even if you have that one moment where you're like, don't say bog off ever again, then they're just like, actually, I still love it and I want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that, have you got anything coming up in this crazy post-COVID apocalyptic world?
This is the thing. We've kind of just watched our industry completely disappear. Like it's like non-existent. So actually, I have no idea what I'm going to do. My school is closed, so I can't even do that. I could probably write an autobiography and come up with a podcast along with a lot of people. I'm also 31, so can't really do that just yet. I haven't got enough life experience. So no,
that doesn't stop a lot of people.
I know, but I'd like to think that I've been like really artistic during this lockdown and been writing loads and blah blah blah, but I haven't. I've been sat on my bum in my pajamas playing with Lego, and that's basically it. So the future, I have no idea, but hopefully it's going to be good.
Yes, and hopefully there will still be arts in the coming years. Fingers crossed.
Let's just keep fingers crossed. Let's save these theatres.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's draw that to a close. Thank you so much, Dani. I will point you in the right direction for people asking questions.
Yes, please.
I realise that I didn't open it up that much. I'm just still getting used to this, guys. Like it's all right. We
could do a part 2. It's fine.
Yeah, we could do a part 2. But right if you want us to do a part 2. Thank you so much, and get back to your Monday night. And it was so lovely to meet you, and so nice to chat to you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Dani. Bye.